Hello friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. In today's video, I am going to be story planning using the Laugh Story Kit from Ali Edwards. I have the main kit here, which I will put a link down in the post that accompanies this video, where you can check out Ali's unboxing, where she shows everything that comes in the main kit. But I also purchased a couple of the add-ons. So I have these really large wood veneer title pieces, the plastic sun collection, which I am just loving. And then I also grabbed the rubber emojis and I guess what I want to say these are like titles, ha and LOL. Anyway, these little circle rubber pieces. So those were all add-ons. Everything else that you see here came in the main kit or the main stamp set. Now, in addition to all of this, one of the things I did before starting on today's planning video was to sit down and actually write out some different ideas for stories that I could tell about laughing and everything that goes along with that. So I did part of the story chat for Ali Edwards over on the AE Instagram account. And again, I can link that video down below for you guys in case you haven't seen it already. It was myself, Morgan Beal, Lisa Varshine, and Ali Edwards all talking about the theme of laugh and different story ideas that we all had. I went into that discussion with some different ideas jotted down for stories, and I've gone back through and starred a few of them that I really do want to tell with this month's kit. But then I also went through a bunch of my photos, both from like very long ago, in addition to photos from very recent, and just pulled out some different photos that either made me laugh or jogged a memory of something that made me laugh. And I wrote those things down in here as well. So I have lots and lots and lots of different story ideas. It's just going to be which ones are going to be most important for me to tell, the ones that I definitely want to get done, and then what products can I use to help me tell those stories. So what I'm going to do is get you on fast forward and get to planning my stories. Once I have everything done and sectioned off into my envelopes, then I will slow you guys back down and we'll finish up for today. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so to get started with my planning for this story kit, first I'm going to set most of the pieces here to the side, and then I'm going to leaf through my journaling cards just to get a reminder on what journaling cards are in there and to see if there are any that I want to start setting aside. What I decided to do was to take all of the cards that have that scripty title there at the top, and I'm going to use that in a week of project life, along with the card that says ha 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 in the blue, green, and yellow colors. I had previously designed a Project Life spread for a creative team assignment on the computer, and my physical kit got here in time for me to be able to use the physical kit on that. So most of this I have already pre-planned out on the computer, and it was just needing to pull out the pieces I wanted to use. So I've got one of the cork starburst pieces, a couple of the die cut speech bubbles, and then I also grabbed one of the circle label stickers from the Storytelling Basics collection, which is where I'm planning to add my date stamping to. So this one you will likely have already seen my spread and how this turned out, but I just wanted to show you that that was the product I pulled, and now everything else I have for designing some pages with. This time I'm going to go about my planning process a little different than normal. Most of the time when I'm going through this process, I don't already have a ton of stories picked out. I usually go more with what the cards say and having, using the sentiments to trigger different story memories. This time I didn't plan, but I wrote out a bunch of different story ideas that I had that I wanted to document with the theme of laugh. So as I'm going through the product, I'm being a little bit more intentional about how I am using it to help me tell the stories that I already have decided that I want to tell. So it's just a little bit different. It's not going to be as much like, let's figure out all the piles and then put them in and then decide on how they're going to be designed and then package them away. It's going to be a little bit more organic this time and less structured with how I actually design the stories. So this first one here, I actually went and grabbed the photo already. I am going to tell a story from the honeymoon that Aaron and I went on after our wedding. And I have a pile of these honeymoon pictures that have just been sitting in a bin. So these are not digital, so I can't necessarily go and grab them digitally to use them that way. That's why I just went ahead, grabbed the photo, brought it over, and then I'm using the photo because I can't, I mean, I guess I could take a picture of it and resize it that way. But for the most part, I mean, it's already a 5x7. I don't really need to make it any bigger than that. So I'm going to use it as a 5x7 and figure out my spread around my photo. So this story here is going to be about when we went on our honeymoon, we stayed at an all-inclusive resort. And a lot of times at these resorts, they have activities that you can participate in. Well, we became friends with some of the event coordinators at the resort, and they basically forced us to do every single activity that they do. So one of them was this like manly man competition, and they made Aaron participate in it. And he's not a bodybuilder. He like runs cross country kind of, and that's about it. He would have been more comfortable in a video game competition than in a like strength and I don't know, athletic competition. So I wanted to tell the story about like how this happened and our reactions and how he actually like killed it in the competition. I think I was shocked and he was probably shocked and all of that stuff. So my plan is to use the So Funny journaling card in order to type out my journaling for that one, a bunch of the speech bubbles layered up next to the photo of the two of us. And then I'm going to pull a photo from the actual event that has terrible lighting. I'll just turn it black and white and include that on the spread as well. So it's going to be a 9x12 spread that will go into my 12x12 story album. Next, I wanted to go through all of these really large wood veneer titles and see how I could use those to help me tell some stories. When I am working on planning out my different stories, one of the things that I personally like to do is to grab the pieces that I think are going to be the hardest for me to use or the hardest to come up with ideas for and use those first. It helps me to try and think creatively out of the box right away before I'm fatigued from trying to come up with stories for everything else. And then also it helps me to not put things in my stash and they stay there forever. So for this one, I really like that the word laugh fits super nicely on top of a 4x6 journaling card. However, there's a lot of space at the top or the bottom. So I am just kind of moving it around and seeing, can I include this on there and then put some stamping around it? Would that help fill in some of the white space? Or maybe I want to tell a different story with this. I'm not too sure. So for now, I'm going to set that to the side, but I do like it on top of the X, that rainbowy X pattern. I also super love all of these speech bubbles together, and I have an idea for how to use those on a larger spread about my grandmother. So one of the stories that I had talked about wanting to tell, like the number one story I wanted to tell with this kit during the story chat, was a story about my grandmother and the things that she used to say that we would just be rolling on the ground laughing, like ridiculously funny stuff. So, and unintentionally funny stuff, which made it even funnier. So, I am pulling together some product to help me tell that story. I love the way that those bright pink chipboard quotation marks fit on top of the yellow bubble and just pop off of that. I also love the word laugh there at the top. So I'm thinking what I'll do is layer up a bunch of these speech bubbles, some of them where I can add my own text to it and type in the things that she would say, some of them that are just going to be decorative, and then put a photo maybe at the bottom. I'm thinking about looking for an older photo where I could maybe fussy cut us out and just have it be outside, or at the bottom, but she's more of like a die cut, so to say. Or if nothing else, I could also just print a large photo and pair that with a bunch of the speech bubbles. I did also purchase the outline speech bubble stamp set. So if I need more that are the larger size where I can add text, I can also totally grab that out and use that as well. So I am liking the way that this is all looking, just kind of trying to see, where size-wise everything could fit in nicely enough. I also really like the little patterned speech bubble with the LOL chipboard on top, which I'm going to include because I've got the 2 quotation mark chipboard. So by having the LOL chipboard, that gives me 3, which is a nice number. It is a desirable number. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're back to these wood veneer pieces again. And I'll be darned, I'm going to figure this out. I think I took a break from this in order to plan out the story about my grandmother, because that is the one that no matter what, I want to get told. So I'm like, once I've got that sketched out and my idea ready to go, I feel a little bit more freed up for thinking of other stories or going through my list of stories and making sure I get the ones that I really want done. As I was drawing out my ideas, you can see them on the little notepad there. As I was writing those down, I will eventually go in there if I haven't already, and I will star the ones that I know for sure I want to tell. That way, as I'm planning this month, I can make sure to plan a page for that particular story. So this one, I, again, am working with the Laugh wood veneer piece there and the pattern. I'm trying to come up with some different clusters of embellishments. I also really love the half circle. I think it says just like laughing or so love laughing or something like that. It's the black chipboard piece there. I like that as an anchor on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is trim off a piece of the 4x6 journaling card, put the laugh on there, but then also use some alphabet stamps to type out or to stamp out the word "you make me," and then it will say "you make me laugh." No, it'll say "you have the best." You have the best, and then it will say laugh. And I want to use that to tell a story about my husband's laugh, which is like loud and boisterous and like, you can't miss it. High pitched. I mean, it's a fantastic laugh. So I want to tell the story about his laugh. And that is my idea. I have an awesome picture of him, like his face, him laughing from our wedding. So I think I'm going to use that photo to tell the story. Next, I'm moving on to this wood veneer piece that says "the best." And I like the way that it pairs with a portion of the green laughing card. So I think what I'm going to do is chop that part off of the bottom, which I'm going to do here before we move on, because sometimes when I have these ideas, I just go for it right now, even though I'm not necessarily putting this together yet. It's okay. I know I can make it work. And so I'm going to chop that off, add it to the bottom of a 12 by 12 canvas or, design. And that's where I will add my text. And then I'm going to layer the best title on top, throw those little asterisks around the outside. And then I've also got a green chipboard piece. For this one, I have a picture, another wedding picture where Aaron and I are giving a speech and we're both just like head back laughing. It's one of my favorite pictures of us. And I want to put the embellishment cluster there in between us and then talk about, having a lifetime of laughing together and how that's just it's been a joy and it's going to be a joy as we continue life. This next one here, I am going through pieces and pulling out some of these pink colored cards. So I've got the laughter, what do I want to call that, marketing card at the bottom. I've got the LOL card that has a section for text. And then there's that ha 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 that I'm considering adding one of the cork pieces to, and then maybe a chipboard piece on top. I really like the way some of those look, but I felt like it was a little bit too much for this spread. So instead, I'm thinking I'll just use the cork piece, no chipboard on top, because I do like the different texture there on the page. And then I'll do some kind of photo collage or photo or something on the left-hand side. And then I'm just trying to figure out what other embellishments I can use to help me tell this story. So this one I want to use to tell the story of taking some videos with Snapchat filters with my family when we went to Disney back in 2017. So many years ago, we did this. And it's my mom, my dad, my daughter are the main ones. And then we did some too, like my husband and I and my sister and whatever. But they are some of the funniest videos I have seen to this day. Like we watch them probably multiple times a year together just so we can cry laughing together because they're so funny. So, and they're all on my sister's phone. So I had her download the screenshots of them, and I'm going to use the screenshots as my photos for this storytelling. But then I also had her download all of the video files, and I'm going to combine them into one video file and post that as a private video for myself with a QR code, and I'll include the QR code in the spread. So we can, flip through the book and then like QR code that thing and then watch a compilation of all of these most ridiculous videos we've ever seen and laugh for years and years and years to come. So that is my plan. It'll be a ridiculous story, but aren't they all? I mean, laughing, I feel like shenanigans and ridiculousness just goes right along with this whole theme. So I am loving it. Okay, next. Next, I wanted to use all of these wood veneer speech bubbles, which I absolutely love. And I thought it would be fun to throw all of them on one single spread. Now, another photo that I have, again, from our wedding, and I think I have a lot of photos from my wedding to Scrapbook, period. Just, I have a lot. But also, they are some of the best photos that I have of my husband and I, or my husband and his friends, or me and my friends. They're just like really, really good photos. So I tend to use them for a lot of stories like this. So I have this photo of my husband and all of the groomsmen and all of the ushers, like all the guys, jumping up into the air. And it is hysterical. Like, it is so funny, particularly my husband's face. So eventually when you see this, like, prepare yourself to laugh out loud because it is so funny. So I'm going to print that photo blown up. Probably it is wider than it is tall. So I can't make it a full 12 by 12, but I'm thinking I will bring it all the way like 12 inches wide by maybe like, I don't know, 9 inches tall-ish, which is going to leave a section at the bottom. So for that part, I'm thinking about adding in this strip of paper to help, create some separation, and then putting some kind of quote card, a 3x4 quote card in there, maybe another photo of all the guys, and then a section for journaling and talking about how these guys, when they are together, they're crazy, they're funny, they have the best time together, and they always come away with like such silly stories to tell. So that's kind of my story for that one, and I'm super looking forward to it. Okay, so now I am bringing back over my remaining cards. So I am quickly running out of journaling cards, and I am not quickly running out of embellishments. So it's just like, okay, how can I stretch my cards a little bit more so that we can get even more stories out of all of this? So the next one I am going to put together, and I might actually do a little bit of piling here because here's where I'm not struggling to figure out stories to tell necessarily. I'm just trying to figure out how I can use all of this to tell as many of the stories that I have left as possible. There's no way I'm going to get them all done because I had like pages and pages and pages of stories. So I can at least get as many of those as possible. For this one, I really love the way that the Tee-hee-hee hexagon chipboard fits on top of the medium size cork starburst. So I'm going to pair those two together and put it on top of the 3x4 colorful X card. That's going to be my title piece. Then I'm taking the 5 add-on rubber pieces. They are rubber circles. I believe they're about 1.25 inches in diameter. And I'm going to layer those up, or, stack them, I should say, on the far left side. Those I'm going to use as my typical, every single month I do this, bullet point type journaling. So each of those will be a marker for a block of text. And then on the right-hand side, I will put this wood veneer, which I'll get here in a second, that says "so good." Now, what I'm planning to tell with this one is the story of all of the things that we have caught Jonah, my son, eating that he should not be eating, like things that are like not food. And there's been quite a few of them. I could have included more, but there's only 5 rubber pieces, so it's only going to be 5 things. We're talking like toothpaste, deodorant, hand lotion, Orajel, that kind of stuff. Stuff that he just shouldn't have. I forget what the last one is. There was another one though. And and every single one of them comes with a funny story. So I'm going to take a flat lay photo or just download some pictures off the internet and create my own quote unquote flat lay photo and put that on the right-hand side. And then on the left-hand side, I will put the journaling that pertains to those different things. I'm not sure yet if I will number them or if I'm just going to say like whatever, it's just going to be a photo and journaling and you can figure it out as you read it. We'll see. And then the "so good" will go at the bottom of the photo page to take up some extra space, but also because I don't know, it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek because he ate these things and he liked these things. Oh, Vaseline. That was the other thing. He ate them and he liked them, which is disgusting. I think he's got a problem. And so the "so good" is like silly. He ate these and they were so good. And then "so good" is also because it made me laugh like really hard every single time, like a little bit of terrified and then a lot of dying laughing. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm so excited to have this documented somewhere so that when Jonah's older, I can be like, "Oh my gosh, I have a story for you. Like you need to take a look at this one, kiddo." Look at how gross you were when you were 2. Anyway, it's a funny one. We have stories growing up, especially my husband, of things that he ate that we've just over the years, they get told every single family dinner. And we laugh about them every single family dinner. So this is like Jonah's version, except his is down on paper with photographs. So, even better. So that's going to be that one. We'll package that up and put that one away. And then we'll move on to the next story. So another one, and here's where, I've got them starred and I'm just trying to figure out what else can we do. Why do I have "so good" still out? Well, that one is eventually going to go in with the other page. Eventually. It will, I promise. Here is everything that I have left to figure out for where to put it. And, and there's the pieces. So I don't have a whole lot left. I have a couple of the journaling cards. I've got the one wood veneer piece. I will mention that there was another wood veneer piece that said "real life" in yellow. I'm going to pull that one to the side to use for, if not this year's week in the life, then maybe next year's week in the life or a day in the life or something like that. I feel like that would be a really great title piece for one of those projects. So I left that one to the side. All of the other ones, though, I will use this month in the different stories that I'm going to tell. So, heads up on that. So some of the ideas that I'm coming up with, I have this laughing title piece that I trimmed off of the 4x6 card. And I'm thinking that could be a great way to tell a story. I will eventually decide to use that one in a spread that I'm titling "You Make Me Laugh," but I will just fussy cut out the word "laugh" and basically call that a day. For this one, this says "You Make Me Laugh" and it's the best gift. I've also got a couple of the chipboard pieces that I'm going to add up there. And And then, it's just figuring out, a lot of like putting things together and seeing if I like those together and then separating them and putting them in other places. I did pull out a Vicky Bouton piece of pattern paper that has all of the triangles on it. I believe that one is called Abstract. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's called Abstract, and it's from her Color Story line, which I love. And I really love the way that it pairs with the like grainy look to the Laugh title card. So I'm going to use those two together. And then I also have the story stamp from Laugh, which I'm trying to use these more in my projects. And even if it's designing an entire spread based off of the stamp set alone, I just feel like I don't get as much use out of those as I would like. So I am working to get more use out of my stamps so that I can justify still having the stamps. So I started sketching one earlier, and I'm just going to cross that out and then revise it and use this for a different one instead. This is going to be a 9x12 spread, the size of it. I want to take the remaining portion of this Ha 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 card, which I had cut in half, to use half of it in the spread about the Snapchat filters. This other one, I'm going to fussy cut out the Ha Ha Ha's that are still solid, that are not like interacting with the page. And I want to see if I can get 2 layers of those at the top. And then I will add the chipboard piece there at the bottom and call that one good. I don't remember what story I was going to tell with that one. Maybe it'll come to me here in a bit, but I don't. Oh, I know what I was going to tell with it. Yes. For the one with all the ha-ha-has, I'm going to tell the story of my husband and his twin brother's hair chronicles. So the growth of their hair over the last 2 years, how it went from super, super short to now like super, super long. And I have photos all along the way of the two of them. So very much looking forward to that one. Okay, so next we have a spread here that will be, I have to think about this one. What is this one going to document? I forget. It'll come to me again. And actually, this might be where the so good goes. I might be lying to you and that the other one does not have so good. Maybe I put a different wood veneer in there. I wasn't paying attention. Did I put the best in there? I know that there is a wood veneer that goes with the story of the things that Jonah ate. But apparently it's not so good. So I lied to you. Anyway, this one I'm going to keep fairly simple. I'm just going to use the cards, and I'm going to use the So Good title and, put all of that stuff in there. I don't remember what that story was going to be for. I ended up with 12 stories this time, which you'll see when we get to the end here. And so some of them I don't totally remember what they were. This one, though, I do remember. This one says, "You make me laugh, and it's the best gift." This one I'm going to use to type out some of the things that Izzy says lately and to use a picture of her. And, that'll be that. It'll be fun, actually, I think, to have those stories of the things, the things that she's saying that are just ridiculous because all kids say crazy things. Next, we've got You Make Me Laugh, which I'm going to use the title piece up there. I'm going to fussy cut out the laugh and use that abstract, quote unquote, I think that's what it's called, pattern paper as my title piece. And then I'm going to use these little circle pieces, which are from an older Studio Calico kit to create bullet points. And this one, I want to write a story about the things that make Isabella laugh. So this is a little bit different than like what she does that makes me laugh. This is just going to be like, what are the things that right now she finds funny? And I want to type those things out, get a picture of her, layer up some embellishments, and then call that one good. This one, I have a couple of remaining speech bubble die cuts left, and they coincidentally all go together very nicely. They're like the peaches and the light greens. So for this one, I'm going to make a 6x8 spread that is divided in half. I'm going to put a photo on one side and then all of the speech bubbles on the other, and use that to talk about how Izzy carries around pumpkin like a purse. All right, friends, that completes my story planning for today. So out of this kit, plus all of those add-ons, I have 12 stories to tell, plus a week of project life. And then I did also pull aside a couple of products to use in some different things. So this real life, I think, will be really great for a week in the life album. I have all of these suns that I'm going to use probably in a summer type of project, as well as, another sun, as well as these two starbursts. They are the only ones, well, a couple of the ones that didn't have anything printed on them except for lines, like a starburst type of pattern. So I think that those would be really good in a summer project as well. So other than that, everything else is in a designated story and ready to go. I hope that this process of putting together stories was helpful for you. I hope it gives you some ideas of some different stories that you can tell and design ideas for how to get those down on paper as well. I will be back again tomorrow with a process video, the first one of my Story Kit Crush Laugh Edition process videos, where I will most likely be putting together 2 projects with this kit, just since I have so many of these to work through. So I think it'll be best if I do more than one. And then on Wednesday, I am hoping to have a post up that will be photos of all of the rest of the spreads put together, so you can see how everything turns out before we get to next month, where we're actually crushing these over on Instagram. All right, friends, well, that's going to be it for me for today. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Monday, and I will catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye, friends.